In this video, I will show you how I became fluent in English as fast as I could by myself, as an introvert. But saying that you are an introvert is just another excuse to avoid practicing speaking in English. And in this video, I'll explain to you why. So first, let me tell you my story. My whole life, I was the biggest introvert I knew, like probably the biggest one you'll ever meet, because I didn't talk to people at all. Like the only thing I did is I played Minecraft at home. I tried to learn programming because I wanted to become a programmer. I thought I wouldn't need to talk to people, so I tried to learn some English by watching TV shows and stuff like that. But I never really considered speaking because I thought, why do I need that? I can become a programmer, so I don't need to speak. I can just like sell my programming skills and I don't need to do anything else. Well, in 2020, in 8th grade, so after 5 years, I got called invisible because I didn't talk to anyone. Like literally, if you ask my classmates, if you ask one of my classmates, who was the biggest introvert you know in your school, in your classroom, they would say it was me. It was Artem. Artem was the biggest introvert because he doesn't talk to anyone. Every time teacher asks him a question, he doesn't respond because he doesn't know the answer and because he just can't really speak to people, you know? So in 9th grade, I did another big thing, which is I got rid of all of my friends because they didn't suit my goals. That's what I said. Every time people asked me, why did you get rid of your friends? I said, well, they do not suit my goals. So what's the point of talking to them? That's what I said. I said this to myself. I said it to others. And it was just the proof that I'm the biggest introvert. And this is me walking home from school or I don't know from where. I guess college or something. So I did this because I had a dream. So I had a big dream. I wanted to become fluent in English. Well, yeah, it's funny because I'm an introvert and I want to become fluent in English without speaking to people. Well, that's exactly what you need to do if you want to become fluent, right? Then I wanted to create my business. I wanted to create some kind of successful business where I can actually sell something to people because I wanted to be a programmer. But then I realized that, well, I'm not going to make a lot of money doing programming. So it's better to start some kind of a business. Then I also wanted to start traveling the world. This was like one of my biggest dreams. And also I wanted to make income in dollars, not in my native currency because I'm from Russia and my native currency is very weak. And if something happens in my country, well, guess what? I'm literally fucked, right? So it's better to make money in dollars. And I also wanted to find friends from all countries, as funny as it sounds. Even though I'm an introvert, I still wanted to find better friends with whom I can actually speak, with whom I can connect, and with whom I can improve. Because, well, if you live alone, you're going to live a miserable life. And I understood that. So, like Alex Hormozi said, the most valuable money-making skill to learn in 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, if you are outside the United States, is how to speak English. And this is true. And honestly, I understood that only by 50% because I spent 10 to 16 hours a day listening to something in English. I was just listening, watching every single YouTube video and TV show I knew in English. But there's a thing. I could easily understand English. So I started working on international freelance. I started making some 3D models. Okay. I wanted to become a programmer, but then I was like, I can do 3D models instead because, you know, it's cooler. I like drawing. I kind of like doing this stuff. So I want to do it. I want to like do it for money. And so I started making my first money on international freelance because dollars are better than my native currency. That's why I started doing on international freelance instead. And so honestly, this was the perfect job for an introvert because I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed making 3D models. I enjoyed working on my computer all day on my laptop and just doing these models without talking to anyone. Okay, I didn't use my mouth. I was just listening to other people speaking in English, giving me advice and implementing this advice silently. But there's a thing that happened in 2022. Unfortunately, the website on which I was selling my models got banned in my country. Okay, service is not available. This is literally what I got. And so it was restricted. All of my models got restricted. I couldn't sell them. I couldn't even get the money that I made from these models from this website. And I was literally depressed because of that, you know? I mean, you probably understand my frustration that I've experienced when the website got banned because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with my life. Like I got this amazing skill of 3D modeling, but then I can't really use it. I cannot do anything with it because it's banned. The website is banned, and like I can't travel the world. I can't do anything, and I can't even like use my English. Okay, and I can't even talk to other people. I thought. So my dream was crushed. 3D modeling didn't work, and besides the fact that this website got canceled in my country, I also realized one thing. AI is soon going to replace 3D modelers. Okay, in 2023 is going to replace them completely. In 2025 or 2026, their job will not be as valuable, and so they will make less money overall. And because of that, I was like, you know what? I guess I need to do something else with my life. So I tried it all. I tried making money in my country as a 3D modeler, and soon I was making $300 per month. So instead of doing it internationally, I tried to do it in my country. And the thing is, that was not enough. So I was making $300 per month, but you probably understand that this is not enough money to sustain your living, right? And to start traveling, to achieve all these amazing big goals. So I needed to find a different way to make money. So I decided to create a YouTube channel about 3D models. So about making 3D video games specifically. So I made this video and I made this video as well. These were my first two videos. And honestly, I was too much of a perfectionist and introvert back then. So I tried to speak on camera in English. This was my first time trying to speak on camera in English because all this time I was just listening. I kind of perfected my English in my head, but then when I tried to speak, it just didn't work. I was just reading a text on camera and I was reading every sentence like 15 times or even 20 times or something like this in order to say it correctly because I was a perfectionist and I was an introvert and I just couldn't do that on the first try. It was extremely frustrating. It took me like 3 hours to record a 3-minute video because I was just trying to perfect it. It took me 3 months to record each video, okay, to prepare for it. Of course, it took me like 3 hours to record the video, but then it took me 3 months to just prepare the video, okay? And so right now, I'm gonna play you 2 clips from these videos. So those were my first 2 videos, and in 2023, the same year, I improved my English significantly. So I made a couple of videos and I understood, you know what? I can actually teach others now. I can teach them about 3D modeling, but then it could work, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not going to make as much money because 3D modeling is not like the skill that all people need, and it's not very valuable, I thought back then. And I also thought that, it's not going to make me a lot of money. Well, actually, it was not true. Actually, if I continued doing 3D modeling, it would make me a lot of money. And if I continued making these kinds of videos and if I taught people how to do 3D modeling, I would make a lot of money. But then I was like, you know what? I think I can actually teach people about how to learn English now instead, because I got pretty good at this skill and I record my own videos in English, so why not, right? I'm a non-native speaker and I definitely know more than native speakers about learning English, so I can teach them, so I can teach other people and probably some native speakers as well, just in case. So I was like, yeah, I can teach other people, but it was another mess for me. Because I tried to record myself on camera, so this was me recording myself on camera, but I just didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I look on camera. I didn't like how I sound. I didn't like rewatching my videos because I thought, you know what, this guy, he's not like an expert. He's nobody, okay? He makes mistakes in English. He kind of sucks at speaking it, and he tries to teach people how to speak English. So why the hell would anybody listen to him, okay? So it was like taking a cold shower. Every time I tried to record myself, I didn't feel confident at all because I thought, oh, people are going to judge me. Oh, should I really do that? So it took me a lot of time to do that. It took me like 3 months to record my first video talking about English. Another 3 months, okay? And then it took me like 5 months to create my first like 5 videos, okay? A lot of time. And it was just because I was an introvert. All this time, I had this thought playing in my mind, like, oh, I'm an introvert, people are not going to listen to me. Oh, I'm boring, who's going to listen to me, I should make my videos shorter because if I try to talk more, they wouldn't listen to me. I had all these things in my mind, all these thoughts in my mind, but I was not about to give up. So this whole time, even though I had all these doubts, all these excuses and stuff like that, I was not about to give up. So this was my room back then, my setup. It looked pretty cool. I was grinding on this, burnout and overtrain. Okay. So there was a lot of things I consumed in English. I was watching a lot of self-improvement advice. I was watching a lot of business advice, and I just tried to learn it all. I tried to consume like a sponge. And you know why I did that? You know why I was not about to give up? Because, well, I had this big dream that I was pursuing. And I'm going to explain you why I wasn't about to give up pretty soon. So I uploaded a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, and they kind of blew up. They made a couple of views. Like this one blew up to 600 views, I think, in the beginning. And so I got my first 55 subscribers. And that was pretty cool, right? It was my first win. And when I got those first 55 subscribers, I was determined. So instead of posting every month, I was posting every week now. And so this is what I did to improve myself and to improve my English. So first, I consumed content. So I was just listening and learning something on my phone or on my computer. Then I was taking notes. I was writing. I was being an active consumer. I was actively consuming the content that I was watching. And then when I got all these notes, when I got all this information inside my notebook, okay, this is a notebook, I started recording myself speaking about this advice. And when I did that, first, it has helped me to strengthen those connections. So for example, I watched a science podcast about sleep, and then I try to talk about sleep on camera. And so I was literally giving myself advice on camera about how to improve my sleep. And when I did that, my sleep got better. And I actually started implementing those habits from my notebook better because I was literally talking about this on camera. And so then I got feedback. So to get feedback, what I did is I recorded myself, again, speaking about these things on camera. Sometimes I was just recording videos about English, right? And so when I was recording videos about English, I was editing them so I can post them on YouTube. And so I had to rewatch one video like 2 times, and I literally understood where were like my weakest points, okay? And so then I got feedback. So I got feedback by rewatching my videos, the ones that I were trying to post on YouTube, by editing them and then figuring out where I've made mistakes. So it didn't take me like a lot of time. I was just rewatching my videos and I'm like, you know what, Artem, like you should definitely stop making this silly mistake. And so the next time I was recording myself on camera, I could catch myself doing this mistake and I was no longer making it. So this is what I did to improve, and this is why it is so powerful to record yourself on camera. And so I did this for 6 months, for 6 to 12 months or something like this, and I got my first 2,000 subscribers. That was amazing, and you can congratulate me if you want. Right now it's like 7,000 subscribers, and this was a big achievement for me. And now I finally felt confident recording videos. So you think I felt confident speaking to others in English? Well, no. The thing about this is that I felt confident recording videos, but I didn't feel confident speaking to other people yet. I've never spoken to people in English before. Can you imagine that? So this was my deepest fear. I feared speaking to others in English. So this is me. I'm literally sweating right now. I'm sweating right now too, but because it's hot, not because I'm afraid to talk on camera. But here I was afraid to go on my first call. And so I was literally sweating. It was like an extremely hot shower for me, not a cold one, because I just felt anxious, but a different kind of anxiety. I felt like I'm stifled, like it's just too much pressure on me, okay? So talking to other people was extremely difficult. And if you want to start some kind of business, or if you are already running a successful business, or if you are speaking to clients in your native language, but you want to do that in English, well, it's going to be extremely difficult for you to talk in English in the beginning. And you probably understand this. You probably understand that it's really tough to speak in English in the beginning. So this was my first call setup. And it looked something like this, okay? I had to do my first call in English because, well, I had this big dream. I wasn't about to give up because I knew that I want to achieve these things. I want to become a successful entrepreneur. I want to start traveling. I want to sleep at 12. Okay, I want to sleep at 12 because the next day I need to wake up early and I need to crush my day. I need to like accomplish all of my goals because I want to achieve this amazing dream. I want to start traveling. I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to do everything. And so I was living in a grind room. I was grinding 24/7. And as you can see, I was not about to give up. I was a beast. I was taking action. And it was not a problem for me to do that. Well, it was a problem because there were just two people battling in my head. So the first one was an introvert, a complete introvert who is not ready to do that, like a programmer who wants to just spend time at home, trying to work remotely, making some money and stuff like that. And the second one was an extrovert entrepreneur, a person who finally wants to help people change the world and start traveling and build amazing connections worldwide. And so my first call actually went amazing. So it was a call with some African girl from Africa, and she was struggling with her English. So I decided to help her, and we went on a call together. And actually, I was pretty extroverted on that call. I could easily speak to her. I was still extremely anxious. I was sweating, but at the same time, I was excited. I try to frame it as excitement, not as anxiety. And that has helped me tremendously. And so I was living in a house with my friends for 2 months, and they congratulated me on this. We were hyped up. It was amazing. And then I kind of upgraded my setup. So I moved to a different room in this house with my friends. And as you can see, it's a pretty cool setup. So we were spending time productively. It was summer and we were just enjoying our lives. And at the same time, we were building our own businesses. And so that's when I started my global community in English. It was called English Speaking School. And inside this community, I was helping people improve their English. So it was an amazing community. I enjoyed making it. I enjoyed having weekly calls. I enjoyed having calls with my students. And I was leveling up their English as well as mine because I was connecting to all these amazing people from different countries. So they were literally from all over the world. And so my friend Andrew, so this is not me, this is my friend Andrew, has helped me create this community. We were brainstorming, we were thinking about how we can make this community better behind the scenes, and we had a big whiteboard on which we were writing down all these amazing ideas on how to make the community better. And I enjoyed working on it. So this was one of the first calls inside the community. I was still a bit nervous going on them. I still felt like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to speak, or I made a mistake here, or I don't know how to say this. But at the same time, I enjoyed making them. I enjoyed making these calls, and after 50 calls, so I've done more than 50 calls inside of my community, I got even more success. So I got my first 2 sales, and I was making $200 per month. So that was really good. After 1 year of being in business, I was making my first $200 per month. Well, I understand this is not a lot of money, but then after probably 6 months, I made an insane transformation. So from being invisible to going global to becoming a global entrepreneur. So I delivered a lot of roadmaps. So roadmap is just like a document where I explain to people what they need to do in order to improve their English. So I did a lot of calls with people. I made more than like 50 roadmaps for people in order to help them improve their English. I also have people from all countries inside of my community. I also started traveling because now I can allow myself to do that. So right now, I'm still traveling inside of my country, but pretty soon I'm gonna start traveling into all countries as well. Now, I fully enjoy making calls inside of my community. I'm an extrovert. I don't feel like English or introversion is holding me back now. And it's amazing. It is amazing because I went through this transformation from being invisible to going global to becoming a globalpreneur. And so I helped more than 70 plus non-native entrepreneurs, content creators, and experts inside of my new community, which is called Globalpreneur. So I used to help all people. Now I only help entrepreneurs, content creators, and experts. And now I make $2,000 per month. So after 6 months, I started making $2,000 per month. And so right now my community has more than 100 members. And if you don't believe me, here's the screenshot of sales that I got. So right now I make $2,000 per month. And if you want to see how I transform my life and lives of other people in the next few months, because there's going to be even more transformations happening in the next few months, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also watch transformations of my clients on my YouTube channel as well. So they went through a similar transformation. So their transformation was like 3 months long. It was not 1.5 years long, but in 1.5 years, they will achieve the same kind of transformation as me as well. So you can check them out. You can check these videos out. And that's why bad English and being an introvert is just another excuse. I mean, this excuse did not stop me. So why it should stop you? Well, there's no reasons why, okay? There is literally no reasons why. Because every time you think that, oh, I'm an introvert, I can't speak to people, or I'm an introvert, I can't go and call to people, or I'm an introvert, why should I do something? Well, it's just an excuse. So stop with this bullshit excuse and understand that saying that you are an introvert is just another excuse to avoid practicing speaking in English. 80% of people in my community went on their first ever call with a stranger in English. And that stranger happened to be me, and they all say, oh, I'm an introvert. I don't know. It's difficult for me to speak English. Well, guess what? I'm also an introvert. You're talking to an introvert right now. And so if you are an entrepreneur or content creator like me, join my free community for global entrepreneurs, where I will help you level up your English and confidence with speaking practice and courses so you can increase your revenue. And I only help entrepreneurs and content creators. So if you are interested in this free offer, click the link down below. And you might say that it's too difficult to become fluent and confident in English because, well, you did this transformation, but I guess you are brilliant. I guess you just did something that others didn't. I guess it's just only you. It's like you are the only person on earth who did the same, who went through this transformation. Well, it's not true, because other people went through the same transformation. So you probably have seen these videos, or if you didn't, you can just watch them right now, about the transformation of my clients. I help them to do the same thing. And also, there are a lot of public figures who achieved the same goal too. For example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you probably know this guy. He left Austria at 21 with a thick accent and a big dream. So the thing is, he couldn't speak English. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he has like a funny name, right? And so unfortunately, he couldn't speak English in the beginning of his career. And people laughed at his voice and his name, because it's funny. His voice, his name is funny, and nobody took him seriously. So he was broke and he could barely speak English. And so he faced rejection in Hollywood for how he looked and how he sounded because of that. Well, he wanted to become an actor, but he faced rejection because he couldn't speak. He looked funny. He also had a funny name and everything. But he ignored the noise and he became a legend. He became a successful actor. He became a governor of California, a bodybuilder, and his net worth is $1 billion, not even million dollars. Do you understand? So he was an introvert. He could barely speak English, and he was just like you and just like me. And also I wanted to show you the example of Wing Yang. So he is a communication expert, entrepreneur, and a motivational speaker. So he has like a YouTube channel with 2 million subscribers. But when he was a child, he grew up in Australia as a shy kid from a Vietnamese refugee family. So English was not his second language. It was his third language. So first language was Vietnamese. The second language was some kind of dialect of Chinese language, or some kind of dialect of another language. So he couldn't even speak English when he grew up, even though he grew up in Australia. I mean, there's a lot of people in Australia who don't speak English, okay? So he grew up in Australia. He couldn't speak English, but then his family had to move to US. And so when they moved to US, he went to schools where people speak English, where children speak English, and he got left out because he was the only person who couldn't speak English. So that was extremely tough for him. So he was shy and quiet because of that, and he couldn't fit in with others because he was the only kid who couldn't speak English. So he spent years learning English and communication, and now he's a communication expert, teaching native speakers how to speak English. He's a non-native speaker, and he teaches native speakers how to speak English. How silly is that? And his net worth is $3 million. So you have zero excuses not to become fluent in English. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and also check out these 2 transformation guides from Roberto and Andrea, 2 of my students. And I see you in the next video. Bye-bye.